Hello and welcome. Tom Scott here, Premium Spirits Brand Ambassador for the Exchange, here to run you through Basil Hayden Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now this bourbon was initially released in 1992 as part of what is known as the small batch range, coming out of the Jim Beam distillery created by the then master distiller Bourbon. Along with Basil Hayden, this also included Knob Creek, Baker's, and his namesake Booker's Bourbon. Now all these are Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskies. So to be a Kentucky whiskey, obviously it has to come from Kentucky. To be a whiskey, you have to be an aged grain spirit. To be straight whiskey, the spirit has to be aged for a minimum of 2 years. However, if there is no age statement on the bottle like we see here with Basil Hayden, it means it's been aged for a minimum of 4 years. In fact, Basil Hayden has been aged around 8 years old. And finally, bourbon. Now, to be a bourbon, there are numerous rules and regulations the spirit has to adhere to, but I'll touch on 3. The first being that the whiskey has to be made within the United States of America. Second, the grains that go into the fermentation and distillation process to create this spirit must consist of at least 51% corn. Then after that, they'll utilize some malted barley. And then finally, the distillery will choose between one of 2 flavoring grains, this being either wheat or rye. Most traditional distilleries and most traditional bourbons utilize rye, and Basil Hayden is no different. The recipe for this was actually created by the man himself, Basil, all the way back in 1796, during a time when bourbon was still in its infancy, and rye whiskey was the preferred spirit of choice. Because of this, Basil Hayden's recipe consists of a much higher percentage of rye grain than you'd see in most bourbons around today. And it's that rye grain that gives Basil Hayden a lovely toasty spice complexity. And finally, to be a bourbon, the whiskey must be aged in brand new charred oak barrels. And it's these brand new charred oak barrels that give bourbon its lovely golden amber colors, but also delightful sweetness in the form of vanilla, toffee, and caramel. Now, Basil Hayden can be perfectly enjoyed neat or on the rocks, but because of its spice complexity and boldness, I find this whiskey is perfect in classic American whiskey cocktails, such as the Old Fashioned or the Manhattan. So I hope you enjoy a glass of Basil Hayden, either by itself or in a delightful cocktail, and I'll see you next time. Bye.